The Supreme Court issuing a decision today, a couple of decisions, including one in which President Obama took a hit on his immigration plan.
Today's decision is frustrating to those who seek to grow our economy and bring a rationality to our immigration system. It is heartbreaking for the millions of immigrants who made their lives here.
The Supreme Court blocked President Obama's mission to expand his executive authority today. President Obama wanted to make up to 5 million illegal immigrants eligible for legal work status and work permits. Now that the Supreme Court has spoken, the problem, though, of illegal immigration does not go away. One of the people at the center of this case was Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton. He joins us now. First of all, sir, well, congratulations, first and foremost.
Thank you. It was a great day for not just Texas, but the 26 states that filed this lawsuit, along with really the rest of the country.
No doubt about it. I think it was a victory for all 50 states in that thing we call the Constitution. Now, there are a couple of issues here. Number one, rule of law finally rules. Were you surprised at the 4-4 decision or any other aspects of what happened today?
Well, so obviously we'd like an 8-0 decision, but, you know, we wanted the Fifth Circuit. So, yeah, you know that's true. We wanted the Fifth Circuit, so obviously a tie gives us a win. So, as you just mentioned, the rule of law, the Constitution was what this case was really about. It wasn't about just immigration. It was about separation of powers. It was about the president being under the constitutional authority of not making law, but actually following the law and implementing the law. President
Obama, of course, has issued 244 executive orders. And during the press conference and the Q&A part, he hinted rather that there will be more, including some maybe executive orders on climate change. Later on, a part of his administration even went further than that. So apparently the message, the overarching message of separation of powers, Congress and the president working together, falling on deaf ears to a degree.
Well, you know what? Texas has 11 lawsuits since I came into office a year and a half ago against the federal government just because of this reason. It's not so much about the different issues. Those are policy discussions that Congress should have. We're suing because the president does not have the authority to make these actions, and we can't let him do this because we know then future presidents will follow in this line, and our elected representatives won't have a say in what the law is.
Sir, perhaps 8-0 was far-fetched, but as Anton Scalia was on the bench today, then the count certainly would have been 5-4, a more decided victory. Does this underscore just how important this November election is with respect to who gets to pick the next Supreme Court justices?
It absolutely does, and obviously we missed Scalia, one of the greatest jurists of our time, and we think he would have voted with us on this. But yeah, it does underscore how important this election is, because obviously that swing vote will determine whether we're going to continue to follow the Constitution or whether this becomes an interpretation where the president gets more and more authority to do what he or she wants. And obviously it could be Donald Trump, it could be Hillary Clinton, it could be, you know, any president in the future may decide that they want to just change the law, and if we don't stop that now, it definitely opens us up to huge issues in the future.
But you have to be somewhat more optimistic, at least I think the American public. Yesterday we had a federal appeals court strike down another effort by President Obama to go around Congress, and it's not the first one. Do you sense that perhaps just the tide has shifted and we can have more faith now? I think the American public was losing faith in the Supreme Court, but that we can have faith in this branch of government.
You know what? This was one of the biggest decisions that I can remember, because it so fundamentally deals with the freedoms of our Constitution and the authority. You know, our founders didn't trust government. They set up separation of powers and granted different authority to 3 branches, and they did that because of the distrust. And I think the fact that the Supreme Court came back with this does restore some confidence that the Constitution really does matter.
Attorney General Ken Paxton, again, congratulations, thanks a lot, and we really appreciate all the work that you've done.